Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I want to keep looking at this worksheet, the Quadratic Formula 1b. We did number 1 recently. Let's go ahead and drop down to, why don't we do number 5? Sure. So what do we have going on here? We have a quadratic equation. It's quadratic because it has x squared in it and no higher power. It's not equal to 0, which means it's not ready to be put into the quadratic formula. You need to make it equal to 0 first, so let's do that. I'm going to need to subtract the 3x squared here, and I'm going to need to subtract the 10. Now, this is a little different. This is minus 3x squared, so that's going to go under the 10x squared, right? Those are like terms, and then the negative 10 goes under the positive 25. And then we simplify. So 10x squared minus 3x squared is 7x squared. Negative 26x just comes down. 25 minus 10 is 15. And this is now equal to 0, which is what I wanted. So now that that's set up, let's go ahead and find our discriminant. I have a equal to 7 here. B is equal to negative 26. C is equal to positive 15. So for the discriminant, I'm going to have b squared, so negative 26 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 7, times c, which is 15. And again, you're not going to do this by hand. You're going to use a calculator. You could probably hear my calculator right now. So I'm going to end up with b equals 676. Times or minus 4 times 7 times 15 gives me negative 420. And when I put those two things together, I end up with D equals 256. Alright, now since the discriminant is positive, we expect there to be two answers. So let's go ahead and find those two answers. The form of the quadratic equation we're using is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of d all over 2a. So when I plug in my numbers, I get negative, I'll be careful here, this negative b is negative 26, so it's negative parenthesis negative 26, plus or minus the square root of 256. And that's all over 2a, which is going to be 2 times 7. So let's go ahead and simplify these. Now the negative 26, the negatives cancel to give me just 26. Plus or minus the square root of 256 is 16. And this is all over 2 times 7, which is 14. So let's just make sure. Why don't we talk through what we've done so far? Again, from our original equation, we first made it equal to 0 on the right-hand side. We then found a, b, and c and used that to find the discriminant, which is 256. Then we took that discriminant as well as a and b and plugged them into the quadratic formula. And now we're simplifying it. Now the plus or minus that gives me those two solutions I was expecting. So I'm going to have x equals 26 plus 16 over 14. So I'm going to look crowded for space here. 26 plus 16 is 42. 42 over 14 is 3. And then for the negative one, x equals 26 minus 16 over 14. That ends up being 10 over 14, which simplifies to 5 over 7 when I divide the top and bottom by 2. So there are my two solutions. And again, we knew we were going to have two solutions because the discriminant was positive. So here's a look at the whole problem. And again, I know this is a lot of work. That's why I'm giving you very few problems. I do want you to do all of them, please.